Sutra. If these living beings have never accumulated any blessings, the first come ones of the 10 directions will bestow their own merit and virtue upon these people. Commentary. If these living beings who recite and uphold the Shurangama mantra have never accumulated any blessings, they've never done any good deeds or earned any blessings, then the first come ones of the 10 divisions will bestow their own merit and virtue upon these people. Why do they do that? Because these people recite the Shurangama mantra or read it, copy it, or write it out. They have no blessings, but the Buddhas of the 10 directions give them blessings. A real bargain, wouldn't you say? All one must do is recite the Shurangama mantra. Sutra. Because of that, throughout asamgyayas of ineffable, unspeakable numbers of kampas, as many as the Ganges sands, they are always together with the Buddhas. They are born in the same place due to their limitless merit and virtue, and like the amala fruit cluster, they stay in the same place, become permitted with cultivation, and are never parted. Commentary. Because of that, throughout the asamgyayas of innumerable, unspeakable numbers of kampas, as many as the Ganges sands, they are always together with the Buddhas. The Ganges sands indicates a large number. Asamgyaya is also a large number. It means limitless number in Sanskrit. This refers to kampas greater in number than could ever be expressed. They are born in the same place due to their limitless merit and virtue, and like the amala fruit cluster, they stay in the same place, become permitted with cultivation, and are never parted. Born in the same place refers not so much to having the same birthplace as to being born in the same generation. That is, they are always born at a time when there is a Buddha in the world. We are born at a time when there is no Buddha in the world. This is one of the 8 difficulties. The difficulty of being born before or after the time of a Buddha. Those who are born when a Buddha is in the world are endowed with limitless merit and virtue. The amala fruit cluster has 3 fruits on one stem. The fruits themselves are as if 3 and yet as if 1. They cannot be separated one from the other. So too these people reside where the Buddha is and become infused with cultivation. They never have to be apart from the Buddha. Sutra. Therefore, it can enable those who have broken the precepts to regain the purity of the precept source. It can enable those who have not received the precepts to receive them. It can cause those who are not vigorous to become vigorous. It can enable those who lack wisdom to gain wisdom. It can cause those who are not pure to quickly become pure. It can cause those who do not hold to vegetarianism to become vegetarians naturally. Commentary. Therefore, it can enable those who have broken their precepts to regain the purity of the precept source. Even those who have broken the precepts can regain the precepts if they genuinely recite and uphold the Shurangama mantra every day. Basically, someone who has violated the precepts cannot be saved. But if that person recites the Shurangama mantra, it's possible for them to regain the purity of the precepts. Reciting doesn't just mean a causal recitation. You have to obtain the samadhi of holding mantras, as I just described. Then the mantra wells up from your heart and returns to your heart. That's what's meant by the mantra heart, the heart of the mantra of the mantra heart. The mantra and your heart become one. There's no distinction between them. You cannot forget it. It recites itself. You are not reciting it, but it is being recited. You are reciting it, but it is as if you were not. even if you don't want to recite it. It goes on being recited. Right now, we recite the mantra before the sutra lecture, but that's just a way of preparing the ground for you. It's just pointing out the way for all of you. It's certainly not that it's only appropriate to recite the mantra at lecture time. You can recite it anywhere at any time, to know it by heart and to recite to the point that all other false thoughts and scattered thoughts are wiped away, and all that remains is your mind's recitation of the Shurangama mantra. That's what is called concentration. The recitation comes together and there are no other thoughts. It's like flowing water that goes on, coming from afar and rolling by in wave after wave. It's like the blowing wind which comes up invisibly but makes its presence known. The water flows, the wind blows. The proclaiming the Mahayana, the sounds of the water and wind speak the great vehicle Dharma. They are all the hearts of the Shurangama mantra. When recitation reaches that state, it can enable those who have broken the precepts to regain the purity of the precept source. It can cause those who have not received the precepts to obtain them. It can cause those who are not vigorous to become vigorous. People who aren't inclined to progress, who don't investigate the Buddha Dharma, can spontaneously give rise to vigor from reciting the Shurangama mantra over a long period of time. It can enable those who lack wisdom to gain wisdom. Just look at this. It can enable stupid pupils to open their wisdom. It can cause those who are not pure to quickly become pure. If you cultivate and yet are not pure, if you violate the precepts, break the practice of pure eating, and get muddled and unclear for a long time, still, if you don't forget the Shurangama mantra, you can quickly gain purity. Once you want to change, you can very quickly return to purity. For instance, I know there are those among you here who would like to study the Buddha Dharma, but whose bodies and minds are not pure. But it doesn't matter if you lack purity. It's just to be feared you won't study, because if you study, the day will come when you suddenly become pure. You will soon understand. But if you don't study and you say, I don't want to become pure, I don't want to be vigorous, I like being lazy, I'd rather not knowing anything, then with that attitude, there's nothing that can be done for you. It can cause those who do not hold to vegetarianism to become vegetarians naturally. If you recite the Shurangama mantra until it comes together in a concentrated recitation, then the wind can't blow through and the rain can't penetrate. Then, even if you don't hold to vegetarianism, you will automatically do so. Why? Because you won't have any false thoughts, you won't have any greed or desires, you won't be thinking about wanting to eat meat or fish or delicious foods. It won't enter your mind. Sutra. Ananda, if good men who uphold this mantra violated the pure precepts before they received the mantra, there are a multitude of offenses incurred by violating the precepts, whether major or minor, can simultaneously be eradicated after they begin to uphold the mantra. Commentary. This passage gives a clearer explanation. Ananda, if good men who uphold this mantra violated the pure precepts before they received the mantra, if they uphold the mantra now but violated the pure precepts in the past, breaking them before they received them, there are a multitude of offenses incurred by violating the precepts, whether major or minor, can simultaneously be eradicated after they begin to uphold the mantra. All their offenses of breaking the practice of pure eating and of violating the precepts can be eradicated. Even the four parajika offenses, Parajika means calls for dismissal, meaning that they cannot be repented of. But if you recite the Shurangama mantra, then all the offenses you have committed, no matter how serious, will be made clean. It is like pouring boiling water over snow. Sutra, even if they drank intoxicants or ate the five pungent plants and various other impure things in the past, the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Varas, gods, immortals, ghosts, and spirits will not hold it against them. Commentary. The five pungent plants are leeks, garlic, shallots, scallions, and onions. These are the ones common to our area. Asafoetida, common in India and often found in curries, is another pungent plant included in this list. Since these hot, pungent plants have unpleasant odors, they are prohibited in Buddhism for people who hold to pure eating practices. These are unclean kinds of things to eat and cause desire and anger. But even if they, the holders of the mantra, drank intoxicants or ate the five pungent plants and various other impure things in the past, the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Varas, gods, immortals, ghosts, and spirits will not hold it against them. If you can constantly recite and uphold the Shurangama mantra, the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and Dharma protectors will not blame you for your former impure habits. If they won't hold it against me, then I can use these things as I please. You may reason it's still best not to use them. Sutra, if they are unclean and wear tattered old clothes to carry out the single practice and single dwelling, they can be equally pure. Even if they do not set up the platform, do not enter the Buddhimanda, or do not practice the way but recite and uphold this mantra, their merit and virtue will be identical with that derived from entering the platform and practicing the way. Commentary. If they are unclean and wear tattered old clothes, so carry out the single practice and single dwelling above. When the platform was described, the Buddha said that one should put on new clothes, but here he says one doesn't necessarily have to wear new clothes. If you don't have new clothes, old ones will do. When you go through the 3 weeks of practice, you can become pure just the same. Because of the power of the mantra, it makes no difference if the clothes you wear are new or old. The purity obtained is the same. You may wonder why he said to wear new clothes in the first place. We wear new clothes to signify our respect out of utmost reverence and absolute purity. Even if they do not set up the platform, do not enter the Buddhimanda. You don't necessarily have to be inside the Buddhimanda. Any place at any time is a place of practice. If they do not practice the way, even if they don't cultivate but recite and uphold this mantra, that's all they are able to do in the way of practice. Their merit and virtue will be identical with that derived from entering the platform and practicing the way. If you can recite the Shurangama mantra, your merit and virtue are no different from one who can set up the platform and enter the Bodhimanda to practice the way. There is no distinction. Truly, the virtue of the Shurangama mantra is inconceivable. Sutra. If they have committed the 5 rebellious acts, grave offenses, warranting unintermittent retribution, or if they are bhikshus or bhikshunis who have violated the 4 parajikas or the 8 parajikas, such heavy karma as this will disperse after they recite this mantra like a sand dune that is scattered in a gale, so that not a particle remains. Commentary. If they have committed the 5 rebellious acts, grave offenses, warranting Unintermittent retribution. The 5 rebellious acts are the most serious offenses in all of Buddhism. They are killing one's mother, killing one's father, killing an arhat, causing schism in the harmonious Sangha, shedding the Buddha's blood. If you deliberately injure the Buddha's body with a knife or some such weapon, or if in some other way you draw blood on the Buddha's body, you have committed this offense. I have never even encountered a Buddha. The Buddha left the world, so I have no chance of committing this offense, you say. Not so, because to deface a Buddha image or break it is also called shedding the Buddha's blood. Even prints and paintings of Buddhas are included in this. To destroy images of the Buddha when he is not in the world is also included in this offense. Uninterrupted retribution refers to the consequence of these offenses. Committing the 10 evils brings a bad retribution, but committing the 5 rebellious acts results in a more severe punishment. If you commit the 5 rebellious acts, you will certainly fall into the relentless hell. This hell has been described before. Its form, whether there is one person in it or many people in it. Therefore, it is also called unspaced, since there is no space in it. It's called unintermittent because the suffering never slacks off, even for a second, nor does it ever end. It goes on interminably. If there are bhikshus or bhikshunis who have violated the 4 parajikas or the 8 parajikas, bhikshu has 3 meanings: mendicant, frightener of Mara, destroyer of evil. A bhikshuni is a female member of the Sangha. The 4 parajikas are sexual misconduct, killing, stealing, make false claims. These are the 4 fundamental precepts. Parajikas in Sanskrit causes for dismissal in English. If you commit any of these 4, then you are dismissed from the Sangha of Buddhism. You are cast out of the great sea of the Buddha Dharma, and you cannot re-enter. The 4 parajikas are 4 bhikshus. Bhikshunis have 8 parajikas. They include the 4 for the bhikshus was touching the 8 things, covering, not following. The parajika's offense of touching is described in the Vinaya as making contact with a woman while harboring thoughts of sexual desire. So whether it be a man, a woman, a bhikshu, or a bhikshuni, or a lay person, physical contact between people when there are thoughts of sexual desire is a violation. If one does not have thoughts of sexual desire, there is no violation of the precepts. The parajika of the 8 things, a bhikshuni must always be in an open public place when she converses. She cannot go to a concealed place to talk, or in a room where she would be alone with a man. In general, a man and woman alone cannot be alone together, be they bhikshuni or bhikshu. For a bhikshu, this is a lighter offense. For a bhikshuni, it is a heavy one. It is forbidden that a bhikshuni talk alone with a man. Covering means concealing another's offenses. You hide someone else's grave offenses and are not frank and open about them. You don't tell anyone. That's also a parajika offense for bhikshunis. Not following refers to the recitation of precepts which takes place twice a month on the 1st and 15th of the lunar calendar. When bhikshus are present in a place where bhikshunis are, the bhikshunis must follow along with the recitation of the precepts by the bhikshus. They cannot recite the precepts themselves and take personal offerings. If they don't accord with this method, they violate this precept of not following. these are the 8 parajikas for Bhikshunis. But even for people who have committed such serious violations, such heavy karma as this will disperse after they recite this mantra, like a sand dune that is scattered in a gale, so that not a particle remains. Even the 5 rebellious acts and the 4 and 8 parajikas can be blown away by the recitation of the mantra, just as a strong wind blows away a sand dune so that it totally disappears. Not a hair's breadth of offense remains. This again shows the inconceivable power of the Shurangama mantra. Sutra Ananda, if living beings who have never repented and reformed any of the obstructive offenses, either heavy or light, that they have committed throughout countless kalpas past, up to and including those of this very life, can nevertheless read, recite, copy, or write out this mantra or wear it on their bodies or place it in their homes or in their garden houses, then all that accumulated karma will melt away like snow in hot water. Before long, they will obtain awakening to patience with the non-production of dharmas. Commentary Ananda, if living beings who have never repented and reformed any of the obstructive offenses, either heavy or light, that they have committed throughout countless kalpas past, up to and including those of this very life, they have never had an opportunity to repent of them and reform. Repent means to be sorry about one's former offenses. Reform means to change so one does not commit the errors again. They can nevertheless read the Shurangama mantra or recite it, copy it out, or write it out. Reciting of the mantra must be done over a long term. The Buddha isn't talking about reciting it once or twice, it means over and over for a very long time. All they wear it on their bodies. When you call the mantra on your body, you want to wear it above your heart, not below. To wear it above your heart represents respect. If you carry it on the lower part of your body, you are not showing proper respect for the mantra. Not only is there no merit in that, you are actually committing offenses. If you are not respectful to the mantra itself, then the efficacy of the mantra is depleted with regard to you, or they place it in their homes or in their garden houses. Then all that accumulated karma from the offenses committed in life after life, as mentioned above, will melt away like snow in hot water. The offenses will disappear just that quickly. Before long, they will attain awakening to patience with the non-production of dharmas.